We got some really exciting Apple and Mac stories, including the exact pricing on the brand new Samsung Viewfinity S9 monitor. Let's talk about it. Welcome back. Just like I said in this video, we're going to go through about 10 or 12 different Mac-related stories, Apple-related stories, but the big one's going to be the brand new Samsung Viewfinity S9 monitor that competes directly with the Studio Display. It's coming out, or just came out, and there's official pricing on it. Now, it's not out in the United States. It's out only in I think, South Korea right now, but at least we got pricing. That's a big thing. Take a look at my screen. So if you're not familiar with this monitor, it's a new 5K monitor. It's going to have a matte screen. I'll show you some close-ups in a second. It's basically 27-inch 5K, 2120 by 2880. Incredible, right? It's going to be just like the Studio Display, 218 pixels per inch. You can see the resolution there. And then it's going to basically have about 600 nits of brightness. So it's going to be a very, fairly bright monitor, good enough for most people, and the price. So what do we have for the price? Now, if we look over here, it's going to say $1,300, all right? $1,300 it's launching at in South Korea once that's converted to US dollars, even though it's not launching here yet. But there it is. You can search for it online. Now, the cool thing about that is Samsung products, they tend to start high, $1,300. That's retail, right? But it's going to probably sell for $200 less than that right off the bat or within a couple months. So you're probably going to be able to pick this up for about $1,100. It's super exciting, all right? Now, a lot of people out there may not even know what this is. This is going to be directly competing with the Studio Display. So let me go over here, and I'm going to share my screen here in a second. And I just want to show you a little bit about it. So let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so here's the monitor. You can see it right here. If you look at it, it says the brand new 5K monitor. I'm just going to show you some designs. It's got definitely a built-in webcam on the back of it. It's made, it looks like a stainless steel. It's going to have a better stand, I think, than the Studio Display as well. And ultimately, though, it's just finally competition for the Studio Display. And it's a beautiful screen. It looks almost exactly the same. So you're going to get just that quality screen, I think, from Samsung for $1,300. Hopefully a street price of about $1,100. It's got a number of ports on it. It's got Thunderbolt 4 port. You can charge your laptops off of this thing. So just I wanted to show people all about this different monitor right here. Overall, though, Viewfinity S9, look for it in the United States soon. It's going to be a great deal, and I think it's going to be around that $1,100 street price. Story number 2 is just as exciting, and it's only a rumor right now, but it gets my hopes up, all right? I made a video on this a while back. I'll show you a picture of it right here, but I talked about a brand new 27-inch iMac. Now, the rumor is Apple's developing a brand new 30-inch or larger iMac. Take a look at my screen. It says right here, Apple is developing, reportedly, a larger iMac with over a 30-inch display. Now, again, this is by Mark Gurman. This is the person that always does these rumors, but he's saying that they're working on it right now, and obviously, if you just take a look at it, he says, it could be the Mac Pro or the iMac Pro. He doesn't know yet, but he thinks, and he's getting a lot of data back, that they're actually developing an over 30-inch iMac. He also says that they're going to update the 24-inch coming up here as well. So that's not going to go away. They're going to update with the M3 chip. But if you're looking for a bigger iMac, we may have to wait here for a while and see what's going on. This is on, let me just see here, this is on Mac Rumors if you want to take a look at this full story. Pretty crazy. I hope they come out, and that's the one I'm probably going to get. All right, story number 3. It's a funny one. So look at my screen over here. It says DarkBoard drawing accessory for iPad now available. You can see it right here. So what it is a piece of rubber, I guess, or kind of foam, and you stick your iPad in there. It helps you draw on it better. Your arm can rest on it, things like that, right? I thought maybe it's a good idea. Then I kind of scroll down a little bit on my screen, and I look down here. Let me just see if I can find it. And it says right here, Astropad sells for $120. You can see it right there. So I'm actually shocked by this, all right? Number 1 is everything at Apple have to be so damn expensive, right? Number 1. Number 2, if you look over at the website, Astropad over here, you can see it in here. It's just this piece of foam right here, and they're showing people drawing on it. Now, I know people that probably use this are going to probably go after me saying, oh, that's maybe a good idea. It's probably worth the money. I just don't know how that's worth it. I think it should probably be about $20 to $30. But you tell me, is that worth $120 for a piece of foam to draw on? I'm not a huge user of the iPad like that, so I don't know. But post in the comments, do you think that's worth it or not? To me, it's a total shock, but who knows? All right, the 4th story is, again, Mark Gurman he's saying, look at my screen, Apple product roadmap for 2023, the end of it, and 2024 has 15 new devices by Apple, right? 15 of them. So if you look in here, it says substantial updates to the Mac lineup will launch starting this year or early 2024. He's saying that encompassing a 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro models with the M3 Pro and M3 Max chips, a refreshed 13-inch MacBook Pro with an M3 chip, 2 new MacBook Air models, and a new 24-inch model. In addition, he says it could come out with that 30-inch iMac as well. So think about this. If you're a Mac lover, you're going to be getting all those different kind of products coming out there. Huge news in the next year. And if you're thinking about buying one now, like that 15-inch MacBook Air, You know, it's one of those things. Do you wait? Do you not? You always are in that situation with Apple, but there's some good things coming. All right, so if you watch my channel, you know my last video, I just did a video on how low the sales are on basically Mac Studios and Mac Minis. It was shocking. It was like 1 to 4% of all Macs. That's it. I mean, it was really around 1%. So I thought this was kind of interesting. This kind of ties into that story. Look at my screen over here. So if you look in here, this just says how different people use it. It's very kind of intriguing to me. It's the same company doing the research, Consumer Intelligence Research Partners down here, see it? If you look here, though, it says business users are 48% MacBook Pros, MacBook Airs 35%. You can see the data here, right? But what I noticed here is education, personal, they're all so close. Like, I would assume that businesses are going to be using the Mac Pro more, and they are by 1%, versus basically personal users use Mac Pro 9%. I mean, does that make a lot of sense to you either? I just don't understand it too much. But overall, what I'm getting from all of this data here, and if I look at the next page as well, and this is on my other video too, you look at the headline here, Mac Pro market even smaller than expected as high-end pros choose the 16-inch MacBook Pros. So basically what they're doing is they're not going with the Mac Pro, they're going with the MacBook Pros, is what it sounds like. A lot of the Pro users are just kind of ditching the whole thing. They don't need all that power. They even say down here, even with the PCI cards that is not a deal breaker if you don't have them. He said a senior iOS engineer in the software development agency, he said that while the slots may be a nice to have kind of feature, you don't need them because now you can use Thunderbolt connected external devices or enclosures. So you can actually get, you don't have to use the cards anymore. You can use those kind of enclosures and stuff based off the Thunderbolt, and that's kind of killing the Mac Pro. The other thing that kind of killed it is also up here. Both the Mac Studio now and the Mac Pro, because the Mac Pro went to silicon, can only have 192 gigabytes of RAM. You can't like beef that up to like 1 or 2 gigabytes of RAM like it used to be able to do, not gigabytes, terabytes of RAM like you used to be able to do in the Mac Pros. So now these things are colliding, and it looks like the Mac Pros are going down. And not even that, it looks like people are even using basically the MacBook 16-inch MacBook Pros, the laptops more than even the studios and stuff like that. So it's kind of a unusual world out there. I would never have guessed it. All right, a couple good stories here. Take a look at my screen. If you're looking for Apple's AirPods Pro 2nd generation, if you look no further, I'll have a link in the description, but right now they're on sale, 20% off, $199. So that's really actually a really good price for that. And so if you're looking for those, pick them up right now. And then another sale going on right now, and this is directly on Apple's website. Take a look at this. Apple right here, the Apple Air 13-inch. Now this is not the new 15-inch, but the 13-inch. But even on their own website, that's down to $999 right now. So I think it was like $11.99, $200 off right now. And that's on Apple's official website, not even refurbished or anything like that. So if you want to pick one of these up and you're looking at the 13-inch, not the 15-inch, now's the time, $999. All right, the next story is kind of interesting if you're in England or some other countries, and it might be coming to the United States, so stay tuned. It says Apple has increased the price of iCloud storage in several regions. Now this is right now in the United Kingdom, Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, Middle East, and South America. I'm not sure why they chose those, but look at these increases. So 50 gigabytes, it goes up 20 cents, not a big deal there. 200 gigabytes goes up basically 50 cents, not a big deal. But 2 terabytes goes up $2. So I don't know what percentage that is, but that's like 30 or 40% or something. So is that coming to the United States and maybe some other countries? Probably, I'm guessing. I'm not even sure, but it seems like once they do it somewhere, they're going to carry that on. So iCloud pricing looks like it's going up right now in just select countries, but overall I think it's going to change for all of us. All right, so the next story is kind of interesting as well. If you take a look at my screen, so YouTube is working on a Playables gaming service. So what does this mean? So hear me out for a second. If you use a Mac and obviously gaming's not huge, I guess YouTube's working on a brand new system for playing like arcade games, very simple games, but you're gonna be able to play them directly through YouTube. So obviously you can play them directly on your Mac as well. Now it's saying that obviously they came out with, I think it was called, I always remember how to pronounce it, but Stadia, cloud gaming service, that kind of failed for them. So they're trying a different thing, Google right now, or YouTube in general, but they're going to be doing these games on YouTube where you can actually play them directly on YouTube, and it's just going to be through the computer, obviously through the web, but they're going to be less kind of strenuous games, not like the super high-end games, but they're going to be more arcade games, just things that you can get away with not having so much resources playing. But it's still another option if you like gaming and you're on a Mac. So YouTube, and it's called Playables. They say that people are testing it right now at the Google labs and stuff like that, so it should come out hopefully in the next year or so. Anyways, if you're looking at kind of arcade games, here's another option. All right, the next story is good for people in Canada and Mexico, and it might spread everywhere else. Take a look over here. So Apple launches 2003 back to school promotion for Canada and Mexico right now. So I know Canada's prices is usually a lot higher, so they may get some relief here. It says in Canada, Apple is offering a $200 gift card with any MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, or iMac, and a $150 gift card with any iPad Pro, iPad Air, or Mac Mini actually. So a $599 Mac Mini I don't know what it costs in Canada, but you get a $150 gift certificate. Crazy. So for Mexico, it's not even nearly as good. So it says in Mexico, the Apple's offering 3rd generation AirPods with any MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, or iMac. So that's not too bad, I guess. And then it says it comes with a, let me just see here, you might get an Apple Pencil when you pick up an iPad or an iPad Air. So if you're in Mexico or Canada, look for those deals right now. Those are pretty good. You know, at least you might as well add those to your system and save on some costs there. Not bad deals. I hope it comes to America. All right, and the last one's a feel-good story. It says, look over here. Hiker with a broken leg was rescued by a helicopter thanks to the emergency SOS via satellite. So it says right here, some person had an iPhone 14 right here, and they broke their leg, and they tried to get cell service. They couldn't get anything. They dialed 911, didn't work. But this thing kicked in. It used the satellite SOS service. Apple knows that this automatically kicks in, and they were actually saved. You can see the picture right here. It says that they've saved, like, I think 7 or 8 people this way or something to that effect. I was reading through the article. So anyways, long story short, here's something in action where you think, you know, it's a good feature, but does it work? It worked for somebody, saved their life. All right, let's wrap this up. I hope you guys like these kind of videos. I'm just rifling through all the different news and stuff. I like to kind of get into these weird stories and all these different things, especially those new monitors coming out, because that's what I'm excited about, and all the new systems. So stay tuned for more of this stuff. Subscribe to my channel. I have 500, 600 videos now of all different products and services and everything else technology, especially Apple related stuff. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace.